What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the third and final matchup of the night. Things are getting real spicy here. We're seeing where all the chips fall, and we've got another crucial matchup on our hands in just a minute. But before we get into then, I'm joined here by my co-caster, good friend, goated caster as well. What's going on, Puggles? How you doing today?
It's going pretty well. Just had to get out of a quick, 5 game series. So, feeling good after clutching up in that. So now I look forward to seeing if any of these teams can possibly clutch up for themselves here merely.
Yeah, well, one of these teams will be clutching up, and at this point in the season, every single matchup basically has playoff implications, unless you are, 0-13 at this point. Then your playoffs are probably mostly gone. But even then, we've got the one-win Samurai still fighting for a playoff spot in the Challenger League. Either way, we do have the Grandmasters versus the Spartans here. And these are two of the top six teams, and there are definitely some playoff implications in this one. You want to go over those a little bit, Puggles?
Of course I will. So we're gonna start off with Spartans because they got the easiest one in my opinion. They've already clinched playoffs, so they are just playing for seeding now. But they still obviously want to win and get that like guaranteed top seeding. Very important because then you have some of the teams that make it in through the play-in system that we have this season. Um, and then moving into Grandmasters, they're currently 8-5 and they need this win to pretty much have a pretty good shot of locking in that at least play-in position. There are a few teams below them at 7-6. Three teams actually: Bananas, Pinnacle, and Venganza. So they need this win to stay ahead of those three teams.
Right, and it's a close race back there. Definitely a crucial win from the Grandmasters, and the Spartans are in a pretty nice position. They've kind of come out and showed everyone that they are a team to be reckoned with. I know a lot of people in the beginning of the season they might have rated them, but I don't think as highly as they would have, knowing what their records would turn out to be. But now that we do have everyone in the lobby, we're gonna get in here in just a second. But before we go to that, Puggles, of course, I gotta bring it to you. Who do you think is gonna take this series?
You know what? I'm just gonna say I'm so biased towards this Grandmasters team because my good friend, actually 21 now, Bubbly Reaper is on this team. So I'm of course gonna choose Bubbly Reaper because he can drink now. So I'm gonna choose him.
Well, I'm not sure if that's the key to victory for them, as if Bubbly's first time drinking was during this series, I'd probably swing it in the other team's favor, not gonna lie. But with that said, I'm going to be definitely looking at the Grandmasters here as well, as they get an early opportunity right off the bat. But like you mentioned, Bubbly, he's been around the league forever. Everyone loves the guy, but unfortunately, Spartans not showing love in the opening seconds. They're gonna come out hot. First 22 seconds already scoring a goal.
Yeah, and we gotta look at that great pass from Dank, screaming from the right side of the field, getting the touch off the corner to set up his teammate Mans, and Mans just had an easy goal to score. Bagels was not ready for that pass there.
Yeah, it seemed like he might have been expecting a teammate to be coming across faster. Even if he did jump, I don't know if he could have had time. But Goff here, he had a wide open net, but either a lack of boost or something stopped him from being able to take a powerful shot. If he could hit that ball hard enough, it was definitely going in the back of the Spartans' net, but the Spartans escape unscathed for now. Now we have a lot more Rocket League to be played. Minute down, but Spartans have gained the early advantage, trying to build on that as a little bit of a double commit on the backboard for the Grandmasters, but at least one solid clear, and it won't matter too much. Probably not going to be able to make contact, but Goff with the crucial challenge coming in, and so far in this first minute, I mean, other than that first goal, Spartans trying to add to the tally. Seems like we've been seeing a lot of back and forth. Other than that one goal, it doesn't seem like the Spartans really are too certain of their advantage so far here.
Yeah, they're still hunting for this goal, and they definitely should be, as a very near miss for them, as Bubbly was gonna get that huge demo and open up the net. Fortunately, couldn't connect. And when you're playing against Grandmasters and Bubbly infamous for those bumps and demos on his way out of the rotations. He does it so well.
Absolutely. I believe Bubbly was tied with Rockerman going into this season for the most demos. I believe this season he has pulled ahead as he has more in the current season than Rockerman. So he might just be our new demolition leader, unless I stand corrected. But not only does he have those demos, he also has a huge backboard clears, as you can see there, sending that ball far and wide. But once again, it's sent back into the Grandmaster zone, and on offense, they're getting good clears, good possessions, but not too many free looks at the net so far as Bubbly tries to set up another. Shylin with an awkward touch, but it manages to stay glued to the corner there. Nothing going to come of it just yet for the Grandmasters, who will have to push even harder. Bagels trying to get the ball out here. Can't get it past the first man, though. Bubbly will be there to back him up. That one will go high. Bubbly looking for the shot. Gets it almost on target, just off the post. And Goff with the shot can't get it. The teammates are bumping each other on the goal line. But somehow, Puggles, somehow the Spartans avoid getting conceded.
Yeah, you know, a great defensive stand there from the Spartans, as it looked like the third man from from Grandmasters wanted nothing with that, as the absolute chaos that was going on. Many great saves with Bubbly here, putting it in top shelf. An absolute outstanding shot from Bubbly Reaper.
And a great pass from Bagels there. Acted like he was going to follow it, but opted to let Bubbly take the shot. Definitely the right decision. You know, I got a little bit scared for them after that little exchange where Goff just missed what was mostly an open net, and the follow-up just seemed so awkward. It seemed like they were struggling to get their feet on the ground, but that's a great sign of life for the Grandmasters, as they will put an absolute clanger, tying up the game. Maybe trying to now push for an advantage, continuing this stroke of pressure. But Bagel's not able to make the touch there. Going to leave his teammate in an awkward position. He manages to get back and interfere, but it might have done more harm than good. That one will get cleared out once again. Manzar flying, looking for this touch. And still kind of an equal game, but it does seem like some mistakes on the Spartans are leaving openings for the Grandmasters here, Puggles. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think some mistakes here are definitely, like you said, leaving openings. As Goff, you know, at the beginning of the game, he did have that open net, but unfortunately could not capitalize. And it looks like we're having a bit of double commits here as well from the Grandmasters. Those are definitely to get punished here pretty soon once Spartans figure that out.
And they might be punished sooner than later, as that one's going to come through. A huge save by Bagels. He just managed to get back, and he manages to keep the ball out of his own net for the time being. Now Grandmasters pushing back to the opponent's half. That was a huge mistake from the Grandmasters, but they managed to recover just barely. Bagels getting back with the diving save, but they might have to make another one. Manzar flying, coming through with a shot. Goff equal to it, and now a counterattack. Bubbly can't quite make this shot, though. They'll alleviate the pressure once again. Dank up for the pass from Mans, but can't make contact. 7 seconds left. Things are looking to settle down. Seems like we are likely to head into an overtime, but Goff trying to send one more clear. Dank makes a good touch to the corner. Grandmaster's not opting to set this ball down yet, though. Bubbly got the fake under one, but couldn't get past the few, and the Grandmasters here are amping up.
Yeah, absolutely. They, like I said, they had some mistakes before, but now the pressure is mounting against this Spartans roster. We just can't see this Grandmasters crack under the pressure like we have seen them do it a few times before, as a dangerous pass there, but nobody willing to go for it.
Manzar flying down the pitch now. Gets a pass middle. That one almost in, but Goff with another diving save. The Grandmasters leaving themselves in positions where they have to make these crucial saves, but they make them every single time, it seems. Still in a dangerous position. Goff trying to send this out. Let his teammates get some boost. Bagels will get the boost in the corner. Manages to get past one. But Dank there once again. That one's on target. Goff in an awkward position. Barely diving back. Now Bubbly going to be able to get this one clear over to Goff, who does have boost, but not able to get the read. And once again, the Spartans sending it back into the opponent's half. But another missed touch from Dank. A little bit of sloppy play here from both teams. Seems like the nerves are getting to them. Going to be all on one goal to take the advantage in this series. This first game, ever so important. As Shilan coming through off the side here, looking for a ground pinch. Gets it middle, but Bagels reads it. Goff will be able to send that one clear. Now a huge demo. That's something we haven't seen a lot of so far, but might be a difference maker in this overtime. Shilan barreling through, getting it middle. Manzar flying with the shot, and awkwardness on the goal line. Bagels couldn't get there. The Spartans will end up taking game one.
Yeah, and it really just felt like a certain amount of time the Grandmasters defense was going to break. It didn't really feel like to me that they were in control of this game for the most of the game. So Spartans, they definitely had the pressure and the control in the game. So they definitely deserved to win in the overtime here.
Yeah, and really it all came down to that one demo that managed to put the Grandmasters in disarray and allow the Spartans to push through. But other than that, I mean, it was an almost completely equal game. I mean, what really do you think was the separating factor for these two teams here?
So from Spartans, they played a really clean rotational game. And as for Grandmasters, they had quite a few double commits there in the beginning. And it's a little bit in the end too, but they started to shape them up a little bit. And another thing is this Grandmasters defense, it looked a little shaky at times, when they got extended pressure or when Spartans had extended pressure on them, they just kind of crumbled and they weren't able to control their corner boost. So, looking into this next game, they definitely should look into controlling those corner boosts and holding on to the ball a little bit more to break it out, force those 50s.
It did seem like we saw a lot of that back and forth that you were talking about. The Grandmasters, they were able to get the hard clears, but once they got the hard clears, they didn't really have a follow-up on the play. They would kind of send it to the other half. The Spartans would take possession, and the Spartans, to their credit, were trying to go for the air dribbles, trying to keep the possessions, but most of their plays getting foiled, and then the exact same cycle continues and permeates the game. See if the Grandmasters can break out of their funk, though, as we do head into game number 2 here. Spartans leading by 1, but surely that can be remedied easily if the Grandmasters do show up. Now here comes Dank looking for the double touch. Goff will not allow that one to even touch the backboard, but the follow-up shot is good. Another diving save. Grandmasters surely getting plenty of practice with those. Bagels will try to control this one out of the corner, but Dank dives forward. Will manage to get the dunk. Spartans on the retreat, turning it back, getting it past one. That one's going to be awkward for Bubbly, but recognizes that there is no shot just yet. Dank now looking for the flip reset double tap off the backboard. Can't quite find it. And it's a barrage of Spartan plays to start us off in game 1 here. So far, Grandmasters hardly with a chance to breathe, but their first sign of life, and it goes straight into the Spartans' net. A little bit of carelessness, but a good read also there from our one and only Goff.
Yeah, Goff, a name that I didn't mention, but a very outstanding player. He was able to read that was the last player back and gets a huge dunk, putting them up here 1 in the first minute.
That goal could prove to be crucial, as so far this has been a fairly low-scoring goal affair in the series. Man's still looking for clips, still hunting for these flip resets, and flashy plays, but hasn't quite been able to find one just yet. So far for the Grandmasters, it has been the solid plays. Now more awkwardness in the midfield should allow Grandmasters as another pinch and another 50. Goff is just a menace with these challenges right now as another one flies into the back of the Spartans' net.
And it all started to go wrong when that pass from Shilin didn't quite hit Dank on the mark. Dank got an unfortunate touch. It just bounced right up and over him. And Goff was able to read that and capitalize that with maybe not an intended dunk.
A little bit of fortune definitely for the Grandmasters, but at the end of the day, they took smart 50s, and on the other side, Bagels almost getting a smart shot there. And on the other end of things, Spartans, they're not really getting the best line. They're a bit careless with their 50s angles in the first play, just not expecting the dunk when you really should be ready for something like that as third man. Now the Grandmasters, after struggling to get out of their half in the first mid of this game, all of a sudden dealing the momentum and trying to push for even more advantage as Bagels will get his first one on the board here.
Yeah, and we really got to look to Bubbly. They're setting this up, getting the bump on man so he couldn't follow the ball. And now, they have the 3-goal lead here. 2 minutes into the game, and we got to look to Spartans and see how they're going to respond here.
And, they have the same amount of shots on the board. 5 for Grandmasters, 5 for Spartans, but 3 goals unanswered for the Grandmasters. They will surely just try to hold on to this advantage, but Spartans are not going to let it break. Man's trying to get the fake, but touch back to his teammate Dank, who he claims was lagging for the last play. I didn't see exactly when the player was lagging, but I think we've all been experiencing some micro stutters. Sometimes the updates for Rocket League kind of break the game, so that is unfortunate, so I'm sure that is accurate. And now some small ball here in the side. I think this is going to favor the Grandmasters, though, as Bagels almost had a wide open net to shoot at. Instead, the ball will be sent back. Goff making a touch to the middle. And Dank, you could see the Spartans are trying to control every single ball. They're trying to keep possession and work their way, but especially in this game, it hasn't really seemed to work. Do you think that's a strategy that they should keep trying, or maybe go for something a little bit different? Just boom the ball around a little bit. Oh, as Bagel's going to get another one here. Now 4-0. This one's looking firmly in the Grandmaster's favor.
Yeah, it really is Bagels with I think the air dribble fake there, getting one, and Schillen just not able to clean up the corner there. And yeah, I do think that the Spartans need to change it up. I think the demo game is really favoring this Grandmasters team. Since that all of the players are now starting to buy into that and not just 1 or 2 players.
Yeah, and now with a minute 40 left, Spartans will get one back on the board. Nice little dribble play there. Mans with Dank as his fullback running ahead of him. Gets a nice flick, just barred down, perfect placement. That's a nice little sign for the Spartans, even though this game might be out of reach. It's certainly not mathematically impossible just yet.
No, absolutely not. I think the comeback is still very possible. We just need to see some more of those demos, and I think they'll start to open things up here for the Spartans.
The Spartans will certainly try, but with reads like this, the third man, it's going to be difficult. Bubbly almost adding another one to the tally. This one's awkward once again. Bubbly flying out of net. That one going to bounce off of like 6 players to make its way into the Spartans net. Is this still the Titan League? Did we transpose into something? I'm not sure what's happening here.
The ball, we played a bit of pinball and it just found the back of the red net. So I guess if you're a Grandmasters, you're going to take it, as that pretty much cuts the momentum down for the Spartans roster going into this next game.
And now with how solid the Grandmasters defense has been, especially, don't really see a 4-goal comeback happening in 1 minute at least. But I'm sure the Spartans will still try, or maybe they'll just try to get some clips for the road. There's another one about to potentially go in the back of the Spartans net, and it will find its way eventually. No, it won't actually. Shilen with a pre-jump diving save of his own. Looking like a Grandmasters player there as he keeps the ball out of the net. They definitely want to at least try and conserve as much momentum as possible, Still important to try and get that consolation goal, as Shilen with another save. The bicycle hit this time, and he is 5 saves for this game, actually. He's been masterful in this last time, but I'm curious here, Puggles. The Spartans, clearly seems like they're trying to play the game the same way that they did in game 1, but haven't really found the same success. Who exactly are you looking at to try and switch things up and have the Spartans regain the advantage in the series?
I mean, a lot of the chances last game came from Mans, and this game, he's been a little bit off with the passing, he's been a little bit off with the finishing. He does have their only goal in the most shots, but maybe looking for a few more of these midfield passes will work, and I think that he's going to be the one to step up and really, propel this team to some greatness. But the ball's finally going to touch down, and the Grandmasters are going to take this second game.
And now an even series, and I think I do agree. We can obviously tell Manzar Flying, a very mechanical player, along with the rest of his team, but maybe even more so. He's been showing off those mechanics at least. But it seems like the Grandmasters have a pretty easy read on these solo plays he's going for. The air dribbles into flip resets, they all look very impressive. But especially in modern threes, those are just going to get pre-jumped. I definitely love to see some more pass plays between his teammates, especially with Shilan back there getting 5 saves. We could tell he could keep the ball out of their net. He's just kind of on the Spartans to try and find that offense on the other side, and at the same time not overcommit while doing so.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to is their overcommits. I saw, like I said, the passes were a little off, but from all the players on Spartans, but maybe they just switch it up. They go into something completely different. Maybe they do more of what Grandmasters are doing and get a few more of those demos and try and work it in that way because Grandmasters have had great success with that this game, and I really hope the Spartans adapt to that and maybe work that in. Or we could see Grandmasters completely change it up, go for some more slower dribble plays or passing plays because last game they had a bunch of demos and a bunch of just big booms. So maybe Spartans are going to be ready for that now.
Yeah, and we'll have to see which team adapts faster. I hate to say it all the time, but yeah, the Spartans. If you wanna start winning, just demo more.
Mhm.
That's whenever I see people start losing in ranked, all they do is press that demo button, and it almost always gives you at least a fighting chance. Just searching for that demo on your way out, looking, not pulling yourself out of position for it necessarily, but just trying to disrupt that defense when you really can't seem to find a way through is so important. But we'll have to see. Maybe the Spartans have some other plans of their own, or maybe they think that their approach to the game is valid and they're gonna keep trying to work with how they played games 1 and 2, just saying that game 2 was a fluke. Either way, it's up to the Grandmasters to prove that. As we will head into game 3 now. All even in the series, and this is, as always, one of the most important games in a series when you are tied up. Don't want to give away that momentum and go down 2. Sometimes a reverse sweep is almost a relief to see instead of down 2, as it can be so difficult to win back-to-back games, especially in a close series like this one. But right off the bat, Grandmasters looking for something here. Can't quite find the shots just yet. Once again, Manzar flying, going for these solo plays. That one not really even close to working out. I have to wonder if maybe a hit off the backboard or across to a teammate would have been a better option. But either way, they are able to stay on offense, at least for now, until the ball will get sent back. Luckily, Shilan will make it back in time. He gets demoed for his trouble, and now a 2v3. Although they do get the ball past one. Goff not going to be able to make the touch. And this time, the pass play does work out. Man's flying, coming through with the double tap.
Yeah, and a great solo play here as Goff just not able to get it, but Man's able to just say, I don't care that you're going up for it. You might be a Titan, but I'm better than you. And he just knows that Goff isn't going to hit that. So he follows it up anyways as they get the early pressure here and a good look back from that last game.
Yeah, at that point, when you already have the setup, you might as well just follow through. Either you score or the opponent does get a touch. Either way, they should be in disarray for a little bit as Manzar flies through for a crucial save, just barely coming across. I thought that was definitely going to be a goal for the Grandmasters, but they're going to look for another chance. Bagels up to 50 this one. Goff will come through, trying to finish it off. That one's slow, and it's slow in front of the net. But Manzar flying with no boost to his name. Manages to just barely avoid the ball being too awkward. It won't be set in their net just yet. Seeing Shilan on defense there has to be a sigh of relief for the Spartans. So we know that this man has been excellent all game. Man's flying with another pre-jump save. Now this one off the backboard, and the pressure for Grandmasters is ramping, but the Spartans look like a completely different defensive team this game as opposed to the last one.
Yeah, they're really cleaning up those those rotations, and maybe Manzar flying is living up to that name and flying across the net all the time. As off the back of his efforts, they're still in the lead here with 1 goal to their name, and Bubbly definitely looking for those demos yet again, something that he's so known for.
And I doubt he will ever stop. Seems to be the game plan that has worked very well historically. So why would he not keep? But Spartans getting a demo of their own, maybe trying to get a little bit of revenge. more focused on that aspect than even the aspect of gameplay, as we all know. It'd be very tilting to get demoed over and over. The Spartans in this game at least have dealt with it very well, not allowing anything for the Grandmasters to take hold. Well, this will be another opportunity for them. Goff with a nice touch off the backboard. That touch will go center. Bubbly trying to get underneath, but Dank remains calm, gets the ball out, and now transitions it into that counterattack. The Spartans have done a much better job of this, not leaving their net open. Even though they've had to make a couple diving saves, they've made all of them with mostly ease, I'll say. But they're going to have to hold on even further. No shot coming out from the Grandmasters there, and I mean, now we're seeing almost a complete reversal here, Puggles, from game number 1, where the Grandmasters just completely dominated the Spartans and were able to get, but as I say that, another missed touch on the other end of the field, and these are the only real times that goals have flown in, but the Grandmasters will be tying this one up.
Yeah, and a huge read there from Bagels, trusting that the Spartans player wasn't going to get that touch. But now, you know, the game is tied up and both goals have come from missed touches. So maybe this next goal is going to come from another huge missed touches. Bubbly.
You almost spoke it into existence.
I almost did, and you know, Caster Curse would have been real.
But yeah, it's kind of strange because it seems like both of these teams have played the defensive end of the game basically perfectly, except for one missed backboard clear. Just the symmetrical missed backboard clears that transition into goals on either end of the pitch. But Goff, he had the top shelf open, maybe even more than that, but he can't find the shot. That's another open net miss. Got to be painful for the Grandmasters as they're almost getting scored on here as well. But once again, not able to put it through. Now they leave the Spartans with ample opportunities to come back. Although they're running out of boost very quickly. If the Grandmasters can be efficient, might be able to get an opportunity here. Bagels to the center. Man's flying deals with that easily, I should say. And this one looks like it's heading into overtime once again, reminiscent of that game 1. But will the script remain the same? I guess we'll have to see as we head into it here, but I just have no idea who has the advantage right now in this matchup. It seems like such a stalemate.
It really is, you know, just the complete like mirror of each other. One team absolutely dominant for like a minute, and then it goes the other way. And I really think it's going to come down to one mistouch or one outstanding solo play, or maybe, just maybe, a big demo here as we look to the Grandmasters to start off the pressure earlier here merely.
They did get a nice opportunity there. As you talk about demos, Bubbly will be sure to supplement your speech with demos of his own almost every single time you ask. Bagel's going for the read here, tried to get on target or maybe middle. Middle option did work out, but no follow-up there. I'll be sending it back once again. Spartans looks like they're running out of boost, and now they're getting demoed. Having to play very defensively, but as I say that, Shylan coming through with the flip reset. This could be another shot opportunity, but Bagels stays in the air. Manages to get a huge defensive clear. Send it out. The demos are really amping up here for the Grandmasters, even more so than previously. They always go for a lot of demos, but this has been an absolute bloodbath in overtime. They're looking to try and fight to get this ball out. Man's flying, getting it across, but no teammate there just yet, and that net might have been left open for too long. It'll just barely bounce off the crossbar. But panic set in for the Spartans there. This one gets over too. The follow-up should be there, and Goff, he will not miss a third open net of the series, and he comes through barreling home and giving the advantage 2-1 to the Grandmasters.
And yet again, it's another missed touch there from the Spartans defense. Shylan, the last one back, needed to get a touch there, and unfortunately he could not. And now Grandmasters, they have the lead here. The demos are working, and Spartans, they need something to react to these demos.
Yeah, they're definitely not winning the battle of the demos. You could see there 8 demos for the Grandmasters, 3 demos for the Spartans, and also I didn't get the chance to absorb it, but I'm pretty sure the Grandmasters had something like 3 or 4 times the amount of shots that the Spartans had. So even though it looked like the Spartans, they were in the Grandmasters half, they weren't really getting clear opportunities. They weren't really getting shots on net. They were just kind of being a thorn in the side that the Grandmasters were able to pick out most of the time. What do you think they really need to change for their offense to try and regain this advantage, try and make a statement here to come back from down 1-2?
Really think they can't rely on those missed touches and those passes. You know, they may have worked first game, but they're really not working anymore. So really looking for some big solo plays and maybe even a few demos. I think that would probably be the way that they need to look at it. As Mans Are Flying is answering my call and already got one on the board.
It does seem like they are wanting to be slightly more aggressive. We even saw it in the overtime, maybe even slightly before last game, as Mans had an almost open shot there, just barely blocked away by the defense. But it seemed like Spartans wanted to get more aggressive, but they're definitely not as seasoned, it would appear, in that aspect of the game, as Bagels with a huge read off the backboard. Defense is too awkward, and he will send the first one there for the Grandmasters.
Yeah, and again, Mans Are Flying a little awkward, and the third guy in the net was deleted by Goff yet again, opening up the net for his team, as this Grandmasters offense looks pretty much unstoppable when they connect with the opposing car.
And the shots are good, the demos are there. The only thing I really want to see from this Grandmasters team is those fakes, man. Bagels always touting up his team's ability to fake the ball intentionally in situations where you wouldn't normally expect there to be fakes. And I think we've seen maybe 1 or 2 instances, maybe partially an instance in game 1, but I haven't seen any big highlight reel plays. But Goff going to come through, and it's all the Grandmasters right now.
Who needs highlight plays when you can just smoke them to the ball? Goff doing just that as he beats out 2 defenders. Dank not able to get up high enough, and the other one was just there to try and work it out. And now they're down 2, only a minute and a half win away so far, and Spartans, they need a response here soon.
And I mean, the Spartans don't really look like they're out of it yet. They look like they're getting out pressured, but they don't seem like they're necessarily just getting beat to every single ball, even though it may feel that way, as Bagel's looking for another read. That one much more difficult than the first one, not going to make contact. But the Spartans, you know, they have what it takes, it seems. We've seen them come through, and they've made so many games close, but this one seems like it's slipping away from them as Bagels puts in a second of the game. And this is getting a little bit too far away from the Spartans' reach, it seems.
Yeah, and a great pass there in the corner from Bubbly Reaper, finding Bagels in the middle there. He just had to beat the guy in the corner, and the net was open, and that's what Bubbly did, setting up his teammate for success.
Absolutely a huge pass there from Bubbly, making it look easy in the Titan League. But it hasn't been this easy every single game for the Grandmasters. They've had to work for most of the games up until this one. This one seems like it's coming pretty easily still. 3 minutes left. To redirect, almost going on target from an impossible angle. The Spartans have to try to get something going here. Maybe some semblance of an opportunity. Mans Are Flying, gets a beat on one, over to Dank. That one's on target. But Goff remaining calm on defense. And another demo that'll actually work against their favor, as Dank, I'm not sure if that fake was intentional. I want to say it was intentional, but he manages to get it past Bagels just so cleanly and get the ball in the net.
Yeah, great fake there at the beginning. You know, really getting Bagels to bite. Just a little backflip, and regains the ball and has an open net to shoot at. A great fake there from Dank, and they finally have life here halfway through the game.
And now a 2-goal lead. It's a lot less daunting to follow up on than a 3-goal lead. The Spartans still have a lot of work to do, especially with these pass plays. This one is nicely cut off by Mans Are Flying. Started to get a really good read on the Grandmasters offense as the series has progressed, cutting off a lot of opportunities. They're going to have to do even more with this pressure the Grandmasters have been exhibiting. Bubbly getting a flip reset of his own, looking into the dunk. Might try to get another pass center here. Gets it to Bagels, who opts to go a little bit slow here, taking possession, getting it through one, but almost every member of Spartans were up for that. And now a minute 30 left, down 2 goals. I mean, the Spartans here, Puggles, they just have to pretty much give it all they've got. They can't hold back anymore.
No, they really gotta start sending the houses. Golf, he fakes out the defender and Bubbly not able to get it by him, but that's a really scary chance. And now Spartans, they need to get it out of their own half or else this game might be just over right here.
And they are most definitely losing the battle of the midfield here, conceding so much pressure, so much precious time being wasted. It's only a minute remains, and this might just be an open net. Goff will be able to put that one home as well. They regain the 3-goal lead, and the Grandmasters do not look like they intend to lose this game.
No, it really looks like with that goal, they're going to secure it up here, but Spartans, they need a good kickoff here, maybe a quick kickoff goal, and they'll be right back into the game.
And if they can get that kickoff goal, things might go their way. That's a good kickoff strat, but it looks like Bagels will still be up for this. I like the attempt from the Spartans, really mixing things up. And now Dank with the flip reset got contact, but couldn't quite put it in the back of the net. As more time ticks away, things looking less and less likely. The Spartans, we know they're fast. We know they have the mechanics. That one just sent center. It feels like from game 2 onward, I mean, the Spartans just kind of lost the battle of pressure, although they might be able to get, okay, well, no, they won't get one back. That's probably GG's for this series. But really impressed with how the Grandmasters were able to handle these situations. Even when they weren't able to put goals in, they just kept hammering away endlessly until they could finally put in the back of the net.
Yeah, you know, it did take them until the second game to find their stride and really have the entire team really start to go for those demo plays, as that's really, in my mind, what really secured it. Is it wasn't just one player going for the demos, it was all 3 of them really trying to open it up for their teammates. And I mean, it really looked great after that. So that's that's all that I really have to say on it, is that they demoed more and it really worked out for them.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't argue with that. The demos for the Grandmasters proving to still be an OP strat. I'm pretty sure they've been used since season 1 of Nemesis. And it's a strat that Bubbly looks to keep carrying on the tradition of. But either way, that's a huge win for the Grandmasters, who are staying alive in this race for the playoffs, for the play-ins. They must be pretty close to clinching the play-ins. I know they are still on the edge of that playoff spot there. But with a win over a team like the Spartans, who are sitting at 10-3, bringing their own record up to 9-5, that's just an absolutely massive victory for them, and definitely going to increase their confidence once they do manage to make it into the playoffs or plans as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is just a super important win there. As of right now, Venganza is the only team that has won so far today. So they're definitely keeping up in that race here. And it doesn't look like Blizzard has played, and now Grandmasters is tied with Blizzard here for the 5th seed. So they're definitely capable of taking it and maybe pushing past them.
And if they keep up performances like that, could definitely see it coming to fruition. But we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was the last matchup of the night, but we will be back on Saturday night. I do think we still need one more Saturday night slot filled. Hopefully we have figured that problem out by Saturday. But either way, that is going to do it all for us. Let me make sure we don't have any shout outs in the chat here. I think Mr. Silent, I will shout you out. I don't know if you're still here, but thank you for the raid. Party of 7, boost our numbers. Appreciate it. Some sick emotes as well. Really love to see those. But that is going to do it all for us today, guys. Some fantastic series, I've got to say, even though this one didn't end up going to 5, or the last one, both very entertaining, some good content. Thank you, everyone. Thanks to all the teams for playing. Good looks out there. And we will catch you guys on our next stream on Saturday. So take care until then, guys. Peace.